Hey, this is Jeff from S4 Studios at our ICVFX Stage in Los Angeles. Today we'll be setting up the Mars FIZTrack and creating some test shots. So let's get to it. First, we'll be using Unreal Engine 5.1 with our City Park environment using our in-display setup going out to our main LED wall. We are also using Unreal's camera calibration plugin, the Vive Mars Cam Track system for camera tracking, and a red helium camera as our A-cam. First, we attach the FIZTrack to a 15mm rod. Slide it into place and line up its gear with the gear on the cinema lens. Tighten it down. On the back of the Mars, you should have 3 USB slots you can plug into: focus, iris, and zoom. Today we'll be encoding focus, so we will plug into the upper left USB slot on the Mars rover and plug the USB-C side of the cable into the encoder port on the FIZTrack. It should power on at this point. We did a quick camera calibration using the Mars software and have loaded up the lens profile into the Unreal Engine camera calibration plugin. Our goal is to translate raw Fiz data into real-world focus distance to have it correctly adjust our virtual camera focus. So at this point, we zero out the FIZTrack by holding down the bottom arrow button marked in blue. We also add a lens data point into Unreal. In this case, our lens is focused at 85 centimeters, and we add that number to encoder mapping input box. The raw Fiz data is at 0. Our next focus distance is at 1 meter, and the raw Fiz data is at 1,360. On and on, we repeat the process by stopping at each marked focus distance on the lens and adding that distance to the plugin in Unreal. When we reach infinity, we just enter a large value or basically double our second to last input. That seems to work pretty good. Save the profile and add it to both the Live Link component controller for tracking and the controller for the lens. We now have a nice exponential curve graph in our camera calibration plugin, and as we turn the focus ring on our cinema lens, the focus plane in Unreal changes in kind. To give you a behind-the-scenes take on how the FIZTrack integrates into our production pipeline, I sat down for a quick Q&A to give you our findings. Go.
All right. So welcome. Tell us about who you are and tell us a little bit more about S4 Studios.
I'm going to look at you because I like the way those interviews work better.
Awesome.
Okay. I'm Geoffrey Kater. I own S4 Studios. I am also the creative director, and I'm at our new stage, which I call the S4 ICVFX Stage here in Los Angeles. So for those that don't know, ICVFX is actually in-camera visual effects. So you're trying to get the visual effects component composited in real time in camera, so when you walk away, it's all said and done, and it's all being done on a big LED wall like the one behind me.
Yeah, Vive trackers, why were you using
So the reason we decided to go with the Mars Cam Track system was because, frankly, it was perfect to do the size of stage that we have. It was affordable, and frankly, it's really easy to use. And so through that, we have been using the Mars Cam Track from the very beginning. S4 is part of the Vive Facebook community, and we interact with other people who are within the same business that we're in, and we get a lot of support from the Vive Mars team and interaction. Here at S4 Studios, we're always trying to do cutting edge stuff, so when Mars reached out to us about testing out their new FIZTrack, we were super excited to just jump on that and be able to give them feedback. Mostly when we have DPs come in, of course, that's like one of the first things that they ask when they walk in the door is, how are we going to control focus in the virtual camera? So we have been just like champing at the bit to get something in here that we could. And so when we were approached to test this, we called in a few DPs and we said, get over here with your cameras, get over here with your lenses, let's go ahead and start plugging it in and seeing what we got. I mean, frankly, from what we've seen, because it plugs directly into the Mars, it's great because it gets its power from that, and it also sends its data through the Mars system. And from the get-go, out of the box, it's super easy to use. The Unreal Engine recognizes it immediately, and so it was kind of a plug and play. So once we were able to do the encoding and get the lens mapping bits done, we were really then able to control the fall-off side of things in the virtual world, and that sort of made everybody happy, and we were all high-fiving and stuff, so it was great.
Awesome.
So typically on our sets, we're working with prime lenses, so it's the zoom side of things is not necessarily something that would be requested by the DP. Also on the iris side, we're typically given the aperture that they're running at, and we just manually enter that type of thing. So to be able to have the option to put a second one in there for the iris would actually be really great, because then when they actually do change, then the depth of field will also change with that in kind. So it's a great option, and you know, we've tested with it, and it's quite good. So we just need a second one. So we're only testing with one. So far we've been pretty happy with the results, and we've been able to get some of those DPs in here to test, and they've been pretty thrilled with the final product. So you know, we've already started to create a workflow around this. And, you know, thanks Vive Mars for sending us the FIZTrack. Thanks for trusting us. Thanks to the S4 team for doing some great R&D and the support. And we look forward to working with you guys in the future. Thank you. Thanks Mars Camtrack. Thanks Mars FIZTrack.